when people are developing and growing, there's certain things that happen to them that are very hard to unfuck. And when things go sideways and their life is fucked, like trying to bring them back to a place like where you are, or a place where I am, where someone who didn't have those things happen to them as a child, that is an enormous task.
Yeah.
It's almost insurmountable.
I don't think it's even possible. You can just prop them up a little bit so they're better, but they're never going to, I mean, there are some that do it, but those people that have really recovered and have gone on to do great things were people who kind of were doing great things before, but then they got caught up with cocaine and then they pulled themselves out.
So it seems like to me, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, is the only way to fix this is to fix the areas in which this is prevalent and to somehow or another pump money and resources into community centers and education and giving people some kind of hope, giving people some, and then even then, you're just going to make less of it.
Yeah.
You're not going to eliminate it entirely. But and it's a generational problem that could take decades upon decades to really put a dent in it. But it's a task that's worth doing, and no one is approaching this. When politicians are sending billions of dollars overseas and billions of dollars on projects that a lot of people don't even agree to, and it's our tax money, and nothing is being spent.
No, if you want to save our country, this is the way to do it.
Yes.
I mean, why are we looking at doing all these crazy things in other countries or going to the Mars or wherever we're thinking? How about right here in our own backyard?
Yes. Yeah, how about fixing places like the South Side of Chicago and Detroit and Baltimore?
And the way to do that, I believe, is providing hope for those families. And it's not going to happen right away. It's not going to happen in a generation.
Right, exactly.
And no one's got the patience for it, because whatever work you're going to put in, whatever money you're going to put in and energy and effort, you won't see in your lifetime.
I had a conversation with some friends about this last night, and they were saying, but would the country even run the same way if that happened? Because don't you need all these poor and disenfranchised people to have the country work the way it works? And I'm like, yeah, but the country doesn't have to work the way it works. This is just the way it works right now. It's not like it wouldn't work another way.
Well, you know what's interesting is, the universe, nature, even the human body regulates. That's what it does. When something's out of balance, it'll figure out and it'll find it's like a seesaw. It'll eventually balance out. So we have a preponderance of down and out broken people on the streets, living in boxes and tents, addicted to drugs. And we've also got this the billionaires and the multi-millionaires. And they're both existing on the two extremes. Right. And good luck getting the rich to say, all right, we're going to give away a third of our money so that we can help these people.
Well, they don't have any faith in it. They also think that, I mean, when I talk to people about this that are very wealthy, they have a problem with charities that most of the money actually winds up going to administrative costs. Yeah. And very little of it actually goes to the people. And then you find out that people that are working on the homeless situation. I have a friend, Colion Noir, who was a lawyer, and he was in San Francisco, and his perspective was, oh, they're not spending enough money to fix this homeless problem. And then he talked to someone who is actually deeply embedded in that situation. He said, no. That's not the problem. They are spending a lot of money on it, but the money is going to these people that get high salaries that work on the homeless problem. And he showed us a spreadsheet of all these people, and it's six-figure salaries, some of them $250,000 a year. And it's a lot of them that are handling the homeless situation in Los Angeles and the homeless situation in San Francisco. And there's no incentive to fix it. The budget goes up every year. The homeless problem goes up every year. There's no accountability. There's no, hey, we've spent all this money and the problem is bigger and you guys keep getting raises. Like, what the fuck is going on here? It becomes an industry. And then fixing the homeless, like if you look at the actual budget for dealing with the pull up the budget for dealing with the homeless in Los Angeles in 2022, because it's bonkers when you see the sheer amount of money that's being spent ineffectively. And all anybody seems to care about is we're working hard to mitigate the homeless situation, and we're we have upped our budget, and like, oh, they've upped the budget. This is great. And you think that must be effective. Yeah. We're going to fix this, but nothing gets done.
No. It's a big problem.
I think the big number was for California, not just for Los
okay,
Angeles.
Let's get the California.
7.2 billion.
7.2 billion just for homeless.
I would think with that you could clean up Tenderloin in San Francisco and L.A.
3.3 billion general fund in 21-22 to almost 30 homelessness-related programs across the state. That is so much money. And yet the problem gets bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah.
And I
think the problem, I was talking about the layers, you keep peeling them back. When you peel back the last layer, it's human greed. Human greed is the problem.
But also, what can be done? Like when you think about like what are the strategies that these people are employing? Shelters, food stamps, this and that, counseling. These are like Band-Aids on gunshot wounds.
Yeah, it's a Band-Aid on cancer.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good.
That's all it is.
Description.